What's up guys, it's Scarlett, and in this video we're going to be talking about sexual trauma and sexual abuse. This topic is sort of the elephant in the room in the sense that it is such a common occurrence, yet not very many people are willing to speak about it because of the high stigma and because of the shame that a lot of people carry. Statistics say about 1/3 or 1/4 of the population has experienced this type of trauma, but I believe it's closer to half of the population if you consider the amount of people who don't report it and the amount of people who don't actually remember, because a lot of the times the memories could be suppressed and sometimes they're recovered after 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Sexual trauma can be anything from childhood sexual abuse to rape or molestation, and to even things such as body shaming or policing your sexual expression or shaming you for your sexual expression, or it could be regret from an experience that you've had where you didn't feel honored by your partner. For a lot of men, it could be even the trauma of a failed performance or feeling judged or unable to perform anymore because what if it happens again and stuff like that. So despite what many people tell you, it is possible to fully heal from this trauma. It is not a lifelong thing that you have to carry with you. And sometimes it's very tricky because when something this traumatic happens, the mind feels that in order to never experience that type of pain again, that you need to remember. And there's ways for you to feel safe in your body and feel safe in life without holding on to the trauma and thinking that you cannot let it go. So one of the most important things to heal from this type of trauma is to remove that stigma that comes with it, because a lot of the reason that it's hard to heal for many people is because it's a very taboo, it's very shocking thing to happen, and sometimes with this shock a person may carry that onto themselves as a burden, so thinking that if somebody finds out then maybe it means that you're not lovable or that you're damaged and things like that, and things like that are simply not true. And when you heal and you get to a point of accepting yourself, then other people will accept you too. So one way to overcome this stigma is to realize that it is such a common occurrence that if almost half of the population has experienced this in some form, that you're definitely not alone. You're not, you're not outcast. There's nothing wrong with you. It's also very important on that note to release any personal shame or guilt that you're carrying, because despite what the mind may tell you, and the mind likes to play tricks, sometimes despite what you may think that, oh, you could have, protected yourself, or you could have done something differently, you probably did the best you could or that you knew how at the time, and carrying shame or guilt will not serve you in healing and releasing what happened. So forgive yourself. Most importantly is forgiving yourself. So basically, along with the idea of the stigma, is releasing your personal feeling of shame, because traumas and abuse are not the victim's fault or the survivor's fault. They are simply unfortunate things that happen, and there are things that can be healed. So of course, honoring your body, honoring the process, but realizing that the sooner that you can let go of these heavy feelings, shame, guilt, the sooner you can heal. On an energetic level, it's very important to be aware that when these types of traumas happen, especially if it was a long-term trauma, that there needs to be a lot of energy work done to heal any fragments, any holes or rips in the aura, or it's important to heal anything that may be interfering with the normal process and flow of the energy in your body, in your energy centers, in your aura. So when you do energy work, especially with modalities such as breath work and yoga and getting energetic healing treatments, is very powerful in removing any stuck, maybe foreign energies, any parasitic energies. So it's important to remember that healing has to happen on a very deep, energetic soul level. And sometimes these traumas can even be ancestral. So let's say if you feel something not quite right with the way you express your sexuality or the way you feel about yourself, about your body, these things can literally be epigenetically passed down from generations and generations. Let's say, for example, that in your ancestry there was a tradition of arranged marriages, and the women in the family lineage just had to get married to be financially stable, or whoever the parents picked. And so if there's a heritage of basically associating sexuality and sexual performance with just something that needed to be done and wasn't honoring the body, that could be a form of an inherited sexual trauma, or just something that would need to be healed so that you can fully access your sovereignty and your personal expression without being replaying these types of ancestral patterns. It's also very important with sexual trauma to keep your body moving. A lot of the time the trauma is carried in the lower part of the body. A lot of the time it will make a person a bit lethargic or not very physically active. Actually, a lot of people who've been sexually abused will gain a lot of weight as a subconscious form of protection, and will even identify with this weight because of a belief that if they don't look attractive, then they may not be targeted and stuff like that. So not only with weight, but even just with beauty or how you look, sometimes the trauma can manifest as not wanting to be seen, things like that. So it's amazing the magic that will happen when you fully uproot these energies and you do a deep soul healing. Your whole expression, the way you show up in the world, will change, and you'll carry yourself differently, and you'll actually attract so many more experiences that honor you. Because with these types of traumas, a lot of the time, if it's not healed, a person can attract sort of the same experiences where the universe is trying to show the person that they need healing. And so it's important to really just face these deep wounds head on and safely, and honoring yourself, but to be aware and be conscious and be willing to look into that shadow and shine light on it. Because if that's not done, it doesn't just go away, it just stays there. And it's time now. Collectively, a lot of people are healing, and when you heal, everyone else heals with you, because we're part of the whole organism of the earth and the universe. So when we heal and do our part, everyone else also heals. And it's time now that we create a new society that honors our sexuality, honors our sexual expression, doesn't have weird shame and taboos that cause these absurd things to happen, but where we express ourselves with balance. And when we are balanced and accepting of all of our self, all of our energies, we go beyond these sort of strange underground, perverse things from happening. We go beyond that. So I will be addressing this topic in future videos, so make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And I also created a healing from sexual trauma course where I took the best modalities of all types of energetic healing, tantric yoga, hypnotherapy, and very powerful modalities to fully be able to heal from any type of sexual trauma that you have. So check that out if you feel called. And remember that you can fully heal, and it's not something that you need to carry with you. It's not a burden you need to carry. You can face this with courage, with honor, and you can experience an entire shift in your life when you heal.